Hello everybody and welcome back to day 56 of 100 Days of Code with me, Lilly Code. We're at it again, we're coming back at it. So yesterday we left off with a little error and I just figured out what the error was. So, rather than dragging you through the mud here and wondering what it was. So the problem that we had, if we get rid of this in here and just click save and we're just using state, passing nothing in, we get this error saying that we cannot find meals. So meals is undefined here and we're getting the error down on line 33. So if we come down to line 33, we're trying to map over our meals. So for every meal we want to pull out each meal and do something with that meal. So now we can actually return our meal item because I know what the fix is. So the problem was that we had initialized it with nothing. So meals is actually an array. So we need to initialize it as an empty array and tell it what it is. And then it won't be undefined anymore. It'll know what this is. So I just need to get rid of this console log as well because clearly I felt like that wasn't correct. And we do have an error here. So do I just need a comma? Stop the lights. Look at that. Fantabuloso, baby. So now if we reload, meal is not defined. How come this was just fixed? Meals.map, we want each meal. So let's just comment this out again and just check because this was fixed. Okay, so now, cool. So our page is there, it's not breaking. We do have some errors. We can't seem to contact our Firebase. So no wonder we have no meals because our request is not being received. So let's instead comment out this part here where we are getting our meal item. We're going through our different meals and assigning that to each meal item, each meal from the meals array. We were using that in our meal item component there. So I'll just have a listen as well and make sure I'm not missing anything. All he did was save and everything was okay. So let's have another look here. So we're trying to hit this particular endpoint. Didn't we say that this actually should be a meals.js? That's what Max had in his, but that wasn't the URL given in Firebase. If we look at this URL here, we just have meals, but Max did add a .js, so we'll just check maybe that might make our request successful, and we'll go back and add this in because if it is successful, we want to know about it. We want to see those meals. So let's reload again, and it still can't find meal. But it doesn't look like we're having those same errors with our backend anymore. So if I delete this .js again and just show you what's going on there, we get another error. We get another error in our console saying that it could not access. We had a CORS error. Okay, so let's just go back to the JS. Sorry if I'm hopping all over the place here, but I'm just trying to figure out where it is that we are falling down because we want to stay upright, baby. So let's just reload. Meal is not defined. The above error occurred. Okay. Meal is not defined. We do not have our meal. So let's just console log out this response and see if we're getting something back first of all. So we'll say console log response. And I'll just copy this and stick it in a string. I always like to do that so we can actually see a string, see something come into our console there. So let's try this now. So now if I reload, it just isn't getting any meals. Are we calling this somewhere? So our use effect is run when the page starts up. Okay. We're running our fetch meals function. what we have in our fetch mails function is it's an asynchronous function that's sending a request to fetch some data. Just for pig irons, let's add in our semicolon at the end there. This is being assigned to response, and then we are transferring that into a JSON object and assigning that to response.json. So, no problema. So let's see if we log out our loaded meals here. So console log loaded meals. It's not even coming in here, but I'm going to do some more error checking now in a minute, or just console log out a few more bits basically. So I'll console log out loaded meals in this string. I will not set meals right now because we know there's a problem with the meals. So let's just not set them for the moment, and then I'll also take back out this meal item because I can't find those meals. So let's reload and just see what we've got going on now. So now we don't have our meal list. That's okay. I'll get rid of that too. Okay. Great. So look, now we can see we have this response. We are getting something back from the console, and the status is not found. So it's not finding. We're getting a 404 response here, and there's something wrong in our JSON data when we are fetching those meals. So great, look, we're whittling this down here. This is how we get through bugs. This is what you do. So you can see here our meals.js call 404 not found. So why? Let's just go back to our Firebase. Let's reload this page, just, why not? This is the URL. So I'll copy this. Let's just go Firestore database. Just check what's in here. Okay, so that's not what we want. Authentication, no, authentication. That word, one of the words, baffles me. Well, I just never say it right. It doesn't baffle me at all, but it baffles my tongue. So we'll copy this, where we're actually trying to hit this back end, and just paste that back up to be sure, as they would say in Father Ted. We'll paste that in. We want to go to our meals.js. Yeah, and let's save. Let's have another look. Let's reload. We're still not getting those meals back. So let's try and get a different URL. So I'll just copy that. What else do we have in here? So I don't want to delete it. No, I want to get tasks perhaps. So let's try and get our tasks instead. So I'll copy this URL. I'll paste that in here. And let's just see if it can get our tasks. And see, is it because we've set up our data wrong? Can it get something from this Firebase backend? So we still have an error with the tasks. So not found in our Firebase, 404 Firebase. Well, this isn't happening after a deploy. So let's just go and Google this line, or not Google, search for it within our code, within our project, and just see where else we were using this, and just check that there's nothing mental in the difference here. So that's a post request. This is a get request. Okay, so here we are just passing in this URL. I'm going to copy this just in case, because we know that this was working at one stage, and then I'll come down here and paste that in here. It probably is no different, but okay. And then let's just see what else we were doing over in that apps.js. So then we were dependent on our fetch tasks here in this particular use effect, but that doesn't mean we will be in our new one. So we've done this slightly differently. That's okay. use HTTP. We created our own hook here. And we're just awaiting our fetch. We're passing in the URL and then the method and stuff, but that's okay. Where is this? 15. And where are we? Terminal, new terminal. I can't remember. I can't remember. I don't know. Okay, so let's close everything. This is getting messy, so close all to the right. Okay, we're just in our simple input here. We were looking at our basic form. No, we weren't. We were in a totally different project altogether. So let's close all this. We were looking at our meals. So let's close everything down. 14 looks like it has changes. Code 01, source. Movies, nah. We ain't looking at movies now, mate. We're on to meals, innit? So source, components. Ah, come on now. Look, guessing like this. 11. Okay, so I think 11. Great. Okay, so this is where we are. We're in our project 11. We have our meals going. And where were we? If I have a look at the changes, it's too many to can, innit? What is going on? Loads. Fucking loads. So. Ah, Jesus, lads. We're in here anyway. Yeah, here we go. So we're in our available meals. We're fetching our available meals. We've looped through our different meals that are coming out, and we want to set those set meals. Is that correct? That is what I've called my set meals, to set my meals. I want to set my meals to the loaded meals. Yes. We just can't get it. What is going on? What's wrong, like? So can we get any more information from this 404? Does this tell us anything else? Our headers. Not found. Tasks. Okay, so first of all, we want this to be back to meals, because we're looking at meals here. Save. My fingers are feeling, oh, like they need a stretch or something. Don't know what that was, but oh, my fingers feel weird. So then let's just keep having a look, see if we can find any information that might be useful down here. So then we have nothing that I can see. It's useful. Our request, our response, just not found. Alright. Don't out me then. No, I'm only messing. Like, I just don't really know what else to take from that. So I will reload. Why are we not getting our meals? That's a schnitzel. How come your data's arriving quickly, Max? Okay, yeah, so that is the right URL. I just seen a Max's project. He is indeed using this URL, which I knew was the right one. But let's just go through this sequentially. So that is the URL we should be getting this information from. Okay, alright. Where's my meals gone? Okay. And then here's our meals. Movies, tasks, yeah. And then we have our various meals in here. So, okay. Let's await. Yeah. And we are mapping over our meals. Makes perfect sense. Meals dot map meal. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And once, yeah, so we've declared our loaded meals empty array. We're populating that array here. Then we are sending the meals to the loaded meals. Yeah, and then our meals list, yeah, should just be a list, excuse me, of each of these meal items. So that should also be okay, but something is falling over somewhere. Yeah. Why is his working and mine is not? Okay, guys, to be I don't see any 404 there now. So, get meals, console. Network. There's our meals image. Looks like our meal request isn't being sent, which is why we just haven't seen it fail, because I don't see meal.js here. Okay. So, what's going on in here? So, do you know what? I'm going to compare with some of Max's later components. So where are we on? Where are we at? And let me have a look at where he has got to. Retry. Un momento, por favor, mi amigos. So if I go, so we're handling the loading state, chapter 17, handling the loading state. Okay. So I'll open up my chapter 17 folder and just have a look at his code for a moment. So do we have 17 in here? Probably not. No, one of the only ones we missing. So I will get that code, have a quick look at what Max is doing, and try to pinpoint what's going wrong here. So, Max files, React, 17, rename, 17, unzip, extract all, browse, where we want to put this, into my sites folder. 100 days of code React, is it? Max 100 days. So actually in YouTube, max 100 days. Let's select this in here. Let's extract. Our folder structure here should update. There we go. We're getting that in there. I'll just rename this to 17 once it's done. So let's rename to 17 and let's check out this code. What is Max doing that we are not? So, fetching meals via HTTP, source, components, meals, available meals, split left. Okay, so here I can just go split left. And then let's just see if we see anything different. So we have our meals, we have our use effect, which is fetching our meals in an asynchronous fashion. We are waiting for the response, which is awaiting the fetch of his own database URL, and then meals.json. Okay, I did have that. Grand. Then const response data await response.json. Yeah, we have our loaded meals being defined. For key in response data, loaded meals push the key, the response data at that particular key, the name, the description, and the price. Set the meals, fetch the meals. Then we're just mapping over the meals and creating a meal item for each of these meals that are passing in. We are showing our meals list in our unordered list of items there. And that's it. So, am I comparing the right thing here? No. I think I'm comparing two of the same files. Okay, let's do that again. Because nothing had changed. So I'll just take this out. We don't need those unused imports. As you could see there, they were grayed out. So they're not being used. Well, classes actually was an incorrect removal. We just want those two gone. So, okay. Then we have available meals. Meals, set meals, use effect, fetch meals. This is what I was looking at because my URL was different. So I think I was comparing the right thing. Loaded meals, or maybe I wasn't. Who knows? Then we have set meals with our loaded meals. Run the fetch meals function. Then when we want to create our meal list by mapping over our meals. I'll just take this out for a minute. Mapping over our meals, we have each meal. Let's save because something happened there. Maybe that console log was messing everything up. I don't think it's the case. But let's just make sure. So we still have a 404. Okay. So yes, then we are assigning these to each meal. We're missing things in our meal item here. So it's probably expecting a key. And we need to assign this to meal.id and also an ID, which is our meal.id. So this could be causing a problem, but it looks like it's fallen over before this. But let's just, to be sure, guys. Name, description, price, cool. It doesn't matter what order they come in, that's fine. And then we just have our meals list. Cool. I'll get rid of this unused space. I'll save. I'll reload. And I'll check out. And we still do not have meals. Let's just make sure that that is what I thought it was. Yeah, so we're getting a 404. Have we set up this data as we are expecting to receive it? So this set meals is not working. So we have our response, but nothing is in it. So from the very first hurdle, we are falling down. Let's get rid of this. Let's go back to where we were. So we were in doing this from 17, I think. Or where were we? Were we in 11? Yeah. So 11.01, we started this project quite a while ago. He's come back to it. So I will close my node modules. I'll open my source. I'll open my components. I will open my meals, my available meals. Cool. And so here we do not have anything. So just for pig irons, look, we're not going to have anything either. But I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'll just paste in my response data, which again should be empty, because if we didn't get any response to begin with, how can we do a JSON on that, make it JSON, you know? So yeah, we can't. Okay. And why? So something has to be going wrong up here. So let's just compare again to Max's code. And if not, I'm going to start searching the web. So let's split this. Let's see and compare here. This is why tutorials are very handy. I mean, look, I would just go searching the web otherwise, but this is handy to be able to have fully functioning code to compare to. So we have our use effect, then we're defining fetch meals. Then we're saying await this fetch. So that's all we've done, and it's fallen over there. So okay. So now we need to go and look at Firebase. So Firebase returning 404 on get data. And let's just see what the possible, what could we be. What could we possibly not be considering here, you know? So yeah, he's getting the following error. Failed to load. We did have a cores error, but that's gone. We just have that it wasn't found. So like that URL looks correct to me. Let's try it with Max's one, even though I don't expect this to work. But look, let's just give it a whirl. So which one is my one? We're running from here. Okay, so let's just make sure as well we are in this correct folder, because you can see there's different code going on all over the place here. So I'll get rid of all these. We're in our 100 days folder. I want to CD into 11, then into 0, into code, then into 0, 1, then do npm start. So now we know we're definitely in the correct folder. We've disconnected the development server down here, and we're going to reconnect it now by spinning it up again. That's what we are at. So you still can't really see that. Okay, so here we go. Bigger, 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 I hear you shout. All right, keep your knickers on. Oh, I'm sure you already have knickers on, don't worry. So then we still, okay, so not found, cool. Okay, so we were in the correct folder. It can't find our meals in our database. So I'm just going to try Max's database. Do you know, process of elimination here, guys. And let's just check if it can get it from his database, which I don't really expect it to be able to. Surely there's checks and stuff. Okay, yeah, undefined. So let's just go back. But we got loads of different errors there. Let's go back and save, like telling us that the prop stop price is undefined and stuff. So what is it doing? It's doing summit. Where, so available meals on line 30. Apparently we have something missing here. So let's go down. Maybe we should just add our semicolon. Maybe I'll just get rid of this for a minute. Reload. Unexpected keyword at line 1, column 1 of our JSON data. Learn more. Yeah, because we don't have anything to parse. Is that why? I presume so. Because it hasn't come back. Yeah, that's why it's at line 1, column 1. Because there's nothing to parse, I think. And we're just getting a 404. Let's have a look. Firebase. Firebase, okay. Deploy not found. Well, we haven't deployed, so still. Like, delete our Firebase src file. So let's just see where that is. I do not know, so I'm actually going to open a folder now and just go into folder 11 because there's too much stuff going on in there. So let's open this specific folder. Grand. Now our terminal will have stopped running, so I'll open that up again and get that going again. So we'll just cd into code this time. We're already in the right folder, so cd code 01 and npm start this bad boy up. Cool. And then we'll come to our search here and just have a look for this file. Do we have that file? No. What about just like Firebase? So it's only finding that here. Do we need that? I don't know. This was working though. So we were getting stuff at a previous instance. So your girl confused, boys. Your girl is confused. So let's open up our terminal here. Our developer tools. Excuse me, it's developer tools. This is the terminal down here. This is the terminal. Or this is a terminal, your command prompt. But this is your developer tools. So this, just to make sure we're getting the lingo right. That's the whole purpose of this studying and training together, is to just get these lingo and, you know, all this lingo into your brain. Coding has its own language, and then you're learning a new language when you're actually learning a programming language as well. So there's just lots of terms to get used to, and once you know them, you know them. But I'm sure probably I'll get some wrong, but it's all learning. Please do correct me and give me tips, guys. I want your tips. Yeah, open to all suggestions. You know, I'm here to improve myself so we can help to improve everybody else that watches these videos together. So totally open to any suggestions. Would absolutely love that, in fact. So just to throw that out there. And what else have we got? Oh guys, I'm just like not really sure, you know. But it's alright, it's alright. We'll get there in the end. Oh, Maximilian, you busted my... You know what? So, let's see. I just don't know. That's the honest truth. I don't know. So we just cannot connect. We can't connect. Can we do test, run a test command or something? Test Firebase. Get. Surely we can test that in with Postman, which I might not have installed. Yeah, can we do Postman online? Postman, don't know. Let's sign up. Lilly Code. Official. Official. Don't know how to spell it. At gmail.com. And my username is going to be Lilly Code. And my password is a secret. Okay. Let's just save that. Let's create a free account. Okay, no spaces, no problemo. No problemo. And let's just see what happens. So Postman is an online tool. Or like normally I download it, but I just don't have it downloaded on this computer at the moment. And you know, we're gonna do it all. Thanks. So what we want to do here, team Lilly Code. I am my own team, baby. Continue. Team URL. Lilly Code. There you go. Oh, continue without a team. That's okay. Oh, a one-man team. Well, I'm enlisting all of you guys, so not a one-man team anymore. So we'll keep going here, and perfect. So we want to send a request. Great. Hey there, Night Owl. That's me. Well, I'm flip and flop. I'm a strange creature. Sometimes I'm early, sometimes I'm late. Try and do the earlies. I like to be up early and get all this done, but it's the weekend and I had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day with my family today. So we're coming at this a bit late, and that is fine. So, cool, unless you share them with your workspace in this workspace. So, just let me add a new get request. Perfect. So we want to get this. So this is our URL. Let's just see what Postman can tell us. So this is the URL that we're trying to get information from. So you can test a get, a post, a put. You pass in the information then that you want to add down here. But all we need is this. And what are you got? Not found. Just not found. Why? Like, yeah, I get it. It's not found, but I just don't know. Like, do I need to have something running or something? Firebase documentation. Let's open this, and let's open Nana. Let's open this. So Firebase Fundamentals. This is pretty fundamental, probably. So add Firebase. We're on the web. Okay, so install, initialize. Like, I don't remember doing any of this. Oh, great. Yeah, I just don't know. And so it is. Sing a song, lighten the mood. Oh. Right, so we created our project. We registered our app. We've done this. We did add a project. We did that stuff. Register your app. Register app. Like, this should all be good to go as well. I've definitely already retrieved information from here. So what is it that I'm missing? Do tell. So let's just wait for this to load. This is our Firebase console. Oh, Firebase Summit. Okay, I'll come. And let's go to our real-time database. Maybe we have a look at the rules. Let's check out the rules. Can we push and pull? Can we retrieve data? We can read and write. Yes. Okay. So we did do some stuff. Oh, today. You are denying me. You nincompoop. Usage. Data. Look, only a bad carpenter blames his tools, as my dad always says. Do you know, this is not the tools that aren't working. This is me not fully understanding the tools. So only someone that's, you know, only a bad carpenter blames their tools. A good carpenter knows how to use them and knows which tools to use for the right scenario. So this is just me not having a full enough understanding of how Firebase works in order to understand exactly what's fallen over here, because it's probably something very, 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 very simple. But your girl's lost. But we'll find our way. So, you know, breadcrumbs were left in the forest. The witch got kicked into the oven in the end. So, yeah, Hansel and Gretel. Response. I actually don't think that's the way it officially ends. But man, kids' stories are... If I ever have kids, they won't be getting any of those stories. I tell you that much. They're pretty shocking. Some of the stories that are for kids. So, response. And if I ever just stopped waffling and tried to really... I mean, come on, Leanne. This is simple. What is going on, you know? And soda. Right, I'm just farting about now. A break is what's actually needed, and a moment to come back to this with a fresh pair of eyes. That would be ideal, but look, we're not going to do that. Not today. Not today, my friend. Well, we might. It's not just our console log giving us issues, is it? No, of course not. But I just amn't even confident about console logs in React, because... So maybe it's just better to take them out. But they were sure we had the same errors before we took them out, so that's not it. I will just do a hard refresh if I can. Or, okay. So... We still don't have them, understandably. Wasn't expecting them to magically appear because I took out a console log. But you just never know. So, let's just check here. Our meals, we are initializing our meals with an empty array. Our meals is just using the state here. Yeah. Max, how you got your meals? How you got your meals, man? Me no have no meals. So, look, this isn't going to make any difference, but I'm just stumped, so... I think I'm not initializing Firebase or something. Like, it seems like it's just not communicating with Firebase. And that seems to be... What about if I try and get movies? Let's just give it a whirl, you know? So we'll type in movies here instead, movies.js, and then we'll try and console log out that response. Not expecting this to work, but look, we did try it already, but it's just, let's try out some things. Try and get the brain ticking over. Try and realise what it is that's going wrong here. Maybe stopping and taking a step back would actually be more valuable, but just for advice for all of you, you know what I mean? If you're sort of in this position yourself, I'd advise getting out of the house for a 5-minute walk, get away from the computer, just go out, sit in the grass for a minute. That's what I do. But today, you know, in the interest of just keeping going with the video, I'm not going to go and sit in some grass, but... So we still can't get it from the movies back end. That should be .json. That's okay, is it? Yeah. So let's do meals.json, because that's actually what it was. Meals.json. If we just haven't been fetching this from the right endpoint the whole time, that would make a lot of sense. So we've got rid of movies now. We have meals. So we need to do a hard refresh here. Oh yeah, we don't have movies. Cool. So meals, copy, meals, save, reload. Fuck off. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Let's have a celebration. Important to celebrate the small victories. No wonder I had no idea what was going on. I was passing in the wrong URL the entire time. It's not a JS file that we are retrieving. It's a JSON. We want to get back a JSON. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Bang on the 45-minute mark. Going around in circles here for 45 minutos. But that's the crack sometimes, you know. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. And thank God we've got our glass of milk for the rest of our cookies now. So we can continue on. I know half the stuff I say probably doesn't make any sense, but hopefully it does. It's the coding that I hope makes sense. The rest is just me being an L waffler. So we'll continue to watch her. Oh, I'm so delighted. I'm actually delighted. I didn't know what was going on there. So, yes, the problem was, of course, I couldn't find it. We were passing it the wrong thing. We were looking for meals.js, and we should have been looking for meals.json. So, even now, if we actually do try movies, I think we'd get back movies. So, let's do that again. Just to show y'all. So, movies, because they're also in this database. There's no reason we shouldn't get them back now. That everything is communicating fine. We were just looking for the wrong thing. So no, movies is not defined on line 13. Oh yeah, well, because I haven't assigned anything to movies, so we actually want this to be response. That makes perfect sense. And now let's see what our response is. Movies is not defined. Do you know what? I'm not even going to worry about this. I'm just happy I have what we were looking for, but I was expecting that to just return back the movies. Yeah, fair enough. The other stuff was going to break. Here we go. We do have them. So here are our movies. Great. So we did get that information back there. Excuse me. We can see our response was a 200 when we tried to hit the back end of movies.json. So now if I do, let's just go back to meals, and we'll keep this response because we're actually trying to console log out the response here, not the meals. So I'll console log out our response. I'll save, and I also just want to test this in Postman so we know going ahead, like Postman should work to tell us what's going on if it can indeed hit that back end. So let's paste in our meals.json, send that request, and we should get back the information. So we got a status 200, we got okay, great, and there we go. Look guys, there's our data exactly as we've set it out in the database. So that's what you can use Postman for, and there is indeed an online version. You don't need to download it, even though, you know, it's handy to download, but just seems I didn't have it. You can just use it on the web, which is absolutely brilliant as well, and it gives you a lot of information about your API requests, and normally it gives you like better errors and stuff as well. I've got some really useful information out of Postman in the past, so when I failed that time I didn't really get much information, or at least I didn't know where to go to look for the stuff that would have been more helpful. But you can see here now when it is successful, we're getting back that data successfully. So absolutely swinging guys, I'm delighted. Let's continue. So I'll reload this. I'm going to watch the video. Once we really get a list of meals. I got it. Cool. So what we're going to do now is just set up a loading. So we can see there that takes a moment to flicker on. So if I reload the page again, you can see that these meals take just a second to flick on. So we're going to add a little loading to just tell the user that that data is on the way through. So we'll do that, and that's very, very, very simple with the async await as well. So we're just going to add a new state. called is loading. So const is loading, and this is going to be set is loading. And we'll say use state, and we'll set it initially to true because we know that this is loading when we first load up this page, so that's fine. And then we're going to just set and unset it within our use effect here. So then once we've set our meals here, now we can set is loading to false. To false. Okay, cool. And what we'll do is we'll use this set is loading before we come down here and map anything. So we'll say if is loading. So if it is loading, then we want to, so if is loading is true, so once it's false, I presume. Yeah, okay, yeah. So if it is true, if it is loading, we return something else. And then in the case that it's not loading, we come down and we map through that loaded data to display each meal item. Yeah, so we just return and then we won't make it down there. So cool. Yes, and we just add a paragraph. Yeah, cool. So we return, that makes perfect sense. So we're going to return in here a section with a paragraph that just says is our content is loading. Is loading. ... Hold your horses, keep your knickers on, and we'll make this a capital C. We'll make that a capital C. I'm totally joking, obviously, but do that. Okay, cool. And then now if we reload, let's see what happens. So if we reload, cool. We've seen content is loading over here. So great. We get that. That functionality is working, and we're obviously going to pretty it up, but that's great. So we'll just add a class name and we can style this a little bit, you know. So we'll say classes.meals. Cool. Yeah, and what we want to do, obviously, so the first thing is if we save that again and just check, reload, we see it's over here and it's black and it's, yeah, just over there really is the problem. So the first thing we'll do is we've created this class name, classes.mealloading, because we're using our CSS in the object manner, which is where you define your classes here, and then you, on your CSS file, you add .module in order to use it like this. So we have classes being defined here, and that's important, all of the different classes from our module.css file, and then you can say classes dot the name of the class that you want to access. So in here we can literally just add in that class that we're going to access. We will say text align center. We'll make the font color white, so to change the font color you just say color and we'll say white. We'll also make it bolder, so font weight, and I'll make that 900, which is just heavier than the average. And I'll also say font size and make it slightly larger because it was a bit small too. So font size, and we'll say 2 EMs, which is just 2 times what it currently is. So now if I reload, or just 2 EM is a unit of measurement, so if I reload, great, did you see that in the beginning? Content is loading. So there we go, that's a bit better. I think even 1.5, because 2 is slightly huge. So we'll do 1.5, save, and I think 900 was too heavy as well, so we'll go for 7. And let's save and see what this looks like. Let's reload. Perfect. Even still too heavy, I think. So we'll go down, because it's very visible, we'll just go to 3. And let's reload again. Perfect. That's perfect in my opinion. Lovely. So let's just see what Max is going to do. So he said text align center and color white. So 2 less classes, but that's fine. So he just has a small little loading. So just to show you what Max's looks like, well, it doesn't look much difference. He just doesn't have the font weight or the font size changing. So now if I reload, this is what Max's looks like, just as content is loading. But I like mine. So let's go back. Save, grand. Do you know what? I'm going to just commit where I'm at now and say, well, let's just say git. I think I already have a previous commit in there, or previous adding of files. So git commit, let's say Firebase data retrieval. Maybe I don't. Let's see what happens. Yeah, because I just sort of add stuff and then just let it do what it's doing. Okay, so I did. So then I'll do another git add everything. I'll do another commit. And then I'll say loading added git commit. Commit loading message added. Cool. And then we can push this, and that'll be the 2 recent commits that I've added. So git push, just to push those changes up to the origin. So okay. So yeah, Max just also made the point that if we reload this here now, like this loading is, the content is loading pretty quickly. So like maybe it's not even that necessary. But as we did see, and we seen a flash of an empty white space, that's not ideal. It's better when you have it show it in its entirety. Don't show us a white box just floating around on the web page. So it is better functionality. And then depending on how fast your user's internet connection is, if they've got really bad connection, this will make a better user experience. So, it's better to consider these things and integrate them into your own projects. So great. Cool. So next now we're going to be looking at error handling. Oh my god. To see what error he was going to look at, the first thing he did was come into his file here and delete the .json, and this is the error that we're going to explore now in a moment with Max. So if I just delete this, save, and let's see what that error is going to be now. And we get, a CORS message. So, okay, that's what happens when we have the dot something missing. So why it doesn't give you the whole URL here is a little bit baffling to me, because this is going to give you the CORS error, Maybe you're just supposed to know that. Maybe it's the way we have our data stored and it doesn't just pick up on that automatically. I'm not sure, but it seems like they should have just included that. But there's clearly a very logical reason, I'm sure the people making Firebase have more knowledge than I do on Firebase. Very much so. So, but I just wonder why that was, why is that, So if anyone can tell me why that is, I would be really grateful to find out, because why do we not include the .json in here if you need it in here? Is that just because of how we have our data set up, and is there just loads of different ways you could be possibly storing that? Well, yes is the answer. Maybe that is the answer. Okay. So what we're going to do now next time, which I know, sorry guys, that was just me running around dealing with errors for an hour, but these things sometimes happen. It's great for you guys to see, actually. I think that, sometimes errors can be so small, so simple, and you don't know what's going on. You can go down rabbit holes. It's totally understandable and it's totally acceptable. So certainly don't get down on yourself when it happens. If you're getting too frustrated, take a little break for yourself, and you'll come back to it and you will figure it out eventually. And worst comes worst, absolute worst, I'm just saying, if you're new and you're learning and you're at the beginning, So what, you stop the project and you start again. Or if you're following a tutorial, something like this, then you just go and get the code where things are working from and you continue on, because you'll get better and better and better at this with time. So there's no reason to get stressed or to feel inadequate because you can't solve a bug. Because I know when I first started and I was getting stuck all over the place and going down huge rabbit holes, sometimes I felt like that. But now I realise that it's all learning and you'll just keep on getting better. So please don't put that pressure or stress on yourself. Try and enjoy it, it's an enjoyable thing. You can build great stuff with coding, and it's just going to open so many doors for you. So don't lose hope. Continue to learn. It gets better with time. And anybody, absolutely anybody, is capable of learning this skill. So don't think that you're not if you get stuck on bugs, because look, I have 4 years experience and you just witnessed me for an hour running around doing a load of crap when the answer was right in front of me and very simple. So it's normal, it's natural, and it's okay. So with that being said, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Love you as always. Just have a great day. And yeah, sending love to everybody from Lilly Code. Thanks so much for joining me. Absolutely privileged and just very blessed. So thanks a million, guys. I really do hope that this content makes a difference for people. That is why I'm doing this. So if you like it, please do like and subscribe so other people can see it, and in the hopes that it helps them as well. But that was just a side note. Thanks very much, guys. Have a wonderful day. Peace. Thanks.